In this episode of Highlight Sundays, Adobe didn't mean to do it, and other oddities. Hello and welcome back to Highlight Sundays. It is the third week of 2012, and here are your highlights. Our first article is some sort of a PSA, even though it's not really something that, we can control. This article comes from Gizmodo and is simply titled, 2 US Power Plants Hit by Malware Attacks. Now, not a lot of information was made clear as to the exact intent of the malware that has managed to find its way into the power plants. However, its mode of transfer is known. It is in fact a worm that spreads itself via infected USB sticks. As the article points out, this is actually quite reminiscent of a known virus called Stuxnet. In case you don't know what that is, it is actually a virus that is apparently targeted at some of the nuclear plants in Iran. Yes, that's right, a virus written to sabotage Iran's nuclear program. Stuxnet actually spread in the same way via infected USB sticks. It searches specifically for some of the control circuits within some of the nuclear power plants situated in Iran, and its sole objective was to wear out certain components, resulting in the need for frequent maintenance in the plants, and of course the increased cost of keeping everything running. Now, here's the deal. We have no idea if these viruses that actually hit these power plants are actually meant to cause damage on that level. However, it does highlight some dangers. USB sticks are a common carrier for quite a number of worms, which is why it is important to constantly stay protected. It also highlights the danger of public infrastructure. Things such as offices, power plants, even nuclear plants are not exempt from this sort of dangers. And that's our PSA. Keep an eye on your USB sticks, among other things. On to less morbid news. Our next article comes from a website called Ars Technica, and this is entitled, Adobe Almost Does Something Amazing by Accident. If you've been following this show, you would know I've actually talked about this in a previous episode of Highlight Sundays. In fact, I told you that Adobe is actually releasing CS2, that is its Creative Suite 2 of a whole lot of professional programs, at no cost whatsoever. Unfortunately, that was not intended to happen at all. The article clarifies that the only intention given by Adobe is that they've wanted to retire the authentication servers for CS2. Of course, the way this works is, if you are a user of CS2, when you install the programs involved, you are asked to enter your credentials. That is, items such as the serial number of the copy of Adobe products you bought. This of course goes back to Adobe, where they have an authentication server to check to see if your credentials are correct. It's been about 10 years since the release of CS2, and Adobe has decided, we don't want to maintain these servers anymore, which is why they wanted to shut down the authentication servers for CS2. For some strange reason, however, a download page has actually appeared on Adobe's website, which pretty much gives everything away for free, in addition to serial numbers that can now be used since the authentication servers have been taken down. This is apparently a glitch, and the page has been blocked in certain regions. The article does say that that page isn't blocked for everyone, and when I last tried to access it, I was actually able to do so. However, Adobe has made it clear that that is not their intention. They had no intention of giving CS2 out for free, and they have sort of stated, in maybe a rather roundabout fashion, that doing so is not actually legal. The interesting takeaway that we have from this incident isn't the fact that Adobe has made a mistake. Instead, what comes across more interesting is the fact that there is a surprisingly large demand, despite the fact that, CS2 is nearly 10-year-old software. The number of downloads and the interest garnered is proof enough. We move on to our next article from PC World. It is entitled One More CES Gem, a $55 mini PC that runs Android. Now, mini PCs such as the Raspberry Pi have been going around for a while. While conceptually this isn't something that is new or breakthrough in any sense, it's always nice to see desktop replacements such as this being pushed out to the public. Of course, as you know, in the past the computer meant at least hundreds of dollars, if not more, but now more and more affordable solutions are actually being pushed out. In terms of accessibility to people with lower means, this is of course great news, but not only that, it means that users like you and me have more solutions to perhaps having a test unit that you just want to play around with, or for doing more sophisticated things like farms. The specifications for this unit are along the lines of a single core, 1.5 GHz processor, 512 MB onboard RAM, as well as Android 4.1. And of course the key attracting factor being the $55 price tag. Our last article for the day comes from Gizmodo, and it is entitled "Developer Sacked for Outsourcing His Entire Job to China." How about that? Apparently this developer was actually found out when the company he was working for actually examined their VPN logs and discovered that for some reason this particular employee who was sitting in the office but accessing the VPN network from a location in China. Eventually it came to pass that he spent his day doing unproductive things despite the fact that he got work done. In fact, the article actually went on to say what this person did, and it included things like being on Reddit for 2 hours a day, shopping on eBay for an hour a day, as well as browsing Facebook and LinkedIn. Now I'm not sure how common this sort of tactics have been going on, but this is definitely the first time I've heard of it, and it's probably one of the first times this has actually been reported. But this is interesting. This is a new and completely novel way of skiving off your work, and this leads us to wonder, is this guy actually making money? Is he actually paying that guy in China less than what he's receiving? Of course, this raises security issues, seeing as that he was apparently working for some important company dealing with sort of confidential data, and this information was actually made known to the person in China. This is of course a security breach. The article also goes on to mention that he's apparently doing this for multiple companies. So of course I guess this falls under unlawful profiteering, which is why of course he gets sacked. And perhaps from more than one company when the rest eventually finds out about this. And there you have it. That's all the articles I have for you today. Now just a very quick bit of news I wanted to put out about this channel. If you want to be updated on when the videos come out, and perhaps some random insights from time to time, well, this channel now has an official Twitter account, and of course you can visit it at twitter.com/0612tv. Every time I post a new video, I will tweet about it, and of course I might have random tweets from time to time. So if you're a Twitter user, definitely check it out. If you're not already a Twitter user, get on it. Twitter is fun. So that's all I have for you today. If you have any comments, queries, or suggestions, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. As always, I appreciate every like, favorite, and subscription you give me. Until next time, you're watching 0612TV.